This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Good morning, Stocktonians, and welcome to a special edition of Tales and Tips. I am so honored today to have with me several women that are affiliated with the Rotary Club of Lodi, and we are going to be talking about an event coming up called Corks for a Cure. I'm going to have all of you introduce yourself individually and tell how you became involved with this event, and then we'll talk more in detail what the event is, what it's supporting, and what it means to our community. So I'm going to have you, Cathi, go ahead and start.
Okay, I'm Cathi Bacher, and I became involved with Rotary. A friend of mine asked me to attend, and I love Rotary. I love what it stands for. I love what we do. And I have to be honest, I think we have one of the best clubs ever. It's a great group of people.
Awesome. And how did this particular event, how did you get involved with this event, the Corks for a Cure?
Well, it was Sherry's idea.
All right.
Yeah, so she can address that, but she just recruited us as women because she had heard about something similar to this.
So take it away, Sherry. Tell us about yourself and your involvement with this event.
I'm Sherry Cotta. I'm part of Lodi Rotary Club. Several years ago, my husband and I were visiting a club in Vermont, and I met a woman who started a fundraiser for breast cancer because her mother had breast cancer. And the way she described her event seemed like something we could do here. And it's been in the back of my mind for several years. And Rotary is very short on women. With 50% of the population being women, we only have about 25% of our Rotary clubs that are women. And so I thought, why can't we bring in some women who are not necessarily Rotarians and get them to understand what Rotary is about and have them help with the project? And at first I said, what if we just have lunch? But when I said, what if we do a fundraiser, they were all in. It has been a phenomenal experience. We threw this together. Everyone took parts of the pie, and nobody dropped the ball. It's been great developing these. This has just been the best event I've ever worked with because everybody's on board.
Yeah. And I'm excited. We'll talk in just a bit more details about the event. And now, Debra, tell us about your affiliation.
My name's Debra Lenzer, and I'm a breast cancer survivor. My husband's in Rotary. I'm not, but I feel like I'm part of the Rotary Women because of that. And Sherry said, do you want to help out with this fundraiser? And I said, absolutely. So got involved.
Awesome. And it's very personal for you as a survivor, and I really appreciate your willingness to be here and talk about and share your experience because that makes it real. And that makes people understand why this event is so important. So let's go back and talk a little bit more about the event itself. So how long has this event been in place?
When did we start? Was it February or March?
Yeah, so we started organizing it then, but this is our first one.
This is the first one. Okay, all right. Awesome. And what specifically will the funds go to?
Our funds are going to a researcher at UC Davis, Dr. Helen Chu. We worked with Kristen Manzanides, who is the Director of Oncology Services at UC Davis, to find a researcher that we felt would be worthy of all this work. And so Dr. Chu is getting our funding from this, and it will help her continue her research into breast cancer.
All right. And what about, let's talk about breast cancer itself as a disease. How many women are affected by breast cancer? And I know men are too, but we'll come back to that.
1 out of every 8 women.
Which is really high.
Very high.
Really high. And who is more likely to get breast cancer?
Older women. usually women over 70, once women have gone through menopause, it's of people under the age of 40, only 5% of the women are diagnosed under the age of 40. So it really is more prevalent in women 70 and older.
See, and I think that's surprising to a lot of people. I didn't realize it. I have friends that have gone through it that are in my age range or maybe a little older, but I didn't realize. And I then had a client who fits the demographic that you just said, but that's to me shocking to realize that it's older women. What are the signs and the symptoms?
Well, I can tell you from what I pulled from the breast cancer research when I got into this was that usually there's swelling in the breast, and also there can be skin irritation and dimpling of the breast. Your breast can become disfigured. Deb, did you have any particular symptoms?
No, I really didn't. I was quite shocked that I had cancer. I never would have thought. I felt great. I encourage women to do self-breast checks, and I wasn't always so good at doing that because I was like, oh, I'm fine, and I mean, it was just something extra to do, and you just don't think, oh, I will get cancer. No, but they said, you have cancer, you need to come back. So the mammogram was very important. That's where they caught it. And once they showed me where the lump was, then I felt it. But I didn't notice any change at all.
Wow. And that's scary. Can I ask what stage you were at, what grade?
I was fortunate. I was at stage 1.
Oh, okay. So it was caught early.
Caught early.
And what about the level, the severity, how aggressive your type of cancer was?
It was aggressive. I mean, they did a very tough chemo. They told me after the surgery I would have chemotherapy and radiation. And I know it was, he said, we're giving you a really strong chemotherapy. I had a HER2 factor, which up to a couple of years ago there wasn't a cure for that, and I feel so blessed. So for 1 year I had to go in to get a treatment for that factor in it, even when my chemo and radiation was over. But it's really it's a hard journey. It's a hard journey to go through. It's a long road, and it's not easy. It's still a little bit hard for me to talk about, but it used to be I never could talk about it. It was just really uncomfortable. It almost was feeling like it was back to talk about it.
So much respect for you, not only talking about it, but what you went through. And to me, my hope would be that maybe some of our listeners or viewers out there aren't getting regular exams. Maybe they're not doing regular self-exams or getting mammograms, and because of your story and hearing that that's how it was detected, maybe we'll save some lives. That would be phenomenal.
It's really important. I didn't realize. I mean, I was healthy, worked out, I eat really clean, healthy food.
You're not overweight?
No. And to go in and every year go in and it comes back just fine. And to go in there and get a call like almost immediately, you need to come back in for an ultrasound, you need to come in for a biopsy, and bump. And it was really shocking. That's the best word for it.
I know several women who had a clean mammogram perhaps in January and then were diagnosed in June. And so
wow.
Just because you have a clean mammogram doesn't mean you should stop the self-checks.
No.
And think, that's fine, I'm fine for another year, because there's a chance you might not be.
Wow.
And on average, Julie, every 2 minutes a woman's diagnosed with breast cancer. And
That's huge.
One woman will die of breast cancer in the United States every 13 minutes.
Every 13 minutes.
Every 13 minutes.
Wow, and that's just in the United States.
That's just the United States.
That's not beyond our borders.
No.
Wow, that's really earth-shattering to hear that the number is so high. What are, besides doing the routine self-checks and mammograms, are there health things, preventative things that women can be doing to not get breast cancer? I know you talked about that you have a healthy lifestyle, that you don't smoke, you eat well, you're good weight, you exercise.
Breast cancer doesn't discriminate. You can be older or younger or heavy or thin, or you can be a vegetarian, or you can eat red meat 3 times a day. It just doesn't seem to matter. There are some people who are more susceptible, but that doesn't mean that there are people who are not susceptible. Men get breast cancer as well. It's rare, but it still happens. And so it's not just a woman's disease, but we have 5 wives of members of our Rotary Club that have breast cancer.
Which is a lot.
That's
when
a
I
lot.
heard that number, I thought that was high.
And that is one of the reasons that we put this together, was because we thought, well, could we just be determined and willing to make a difference? And hopefully we will.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of it is because medicine is better, that we're better able to detect it, versus are the number of women experiencing it growing?
I think that's probably true of every cancer. Being able to diagnose it early. 100 years ago, people just passed, and most people didn't know why. And now we find it earlier, and of course, having more diagnosis creates more treatment.
Definitely, definitely.
And that's why we're excited about the Corks for a Cure, because it is going for research. We really feel it's important to keep putting money into the research so that they can come up with cures. I mean, look what happened with AIDS, with just the research money that was available for that. So that's why
people are surviving that now.
Exactly. And that's why, to me, this was so exciting when Sherry brought it up, because it's for a cure.
And it's something that our club can relate to. Excuse me, if so many women connected to our club have been affected by it. Let's talk about men. Do you have any statistics for men and breast cancer?
I don't.
Okay.
I do have a friend who has breast cancer. Her brother had breast cancer. Her aunt had breast cancer. And yet, as a family, they don't have the cancer gene. So the cancer gene was thought to be the be-all and end-all, but it really isn't. But yet, at the same time, we hear more and more women who say, I have none of it in my family, and I was the first.
Let's go back to the logistics of the event. When and where is it? How much does it cost to attend? And what will happen there?
Okay, sure.
We're having our event at Clinker Brick Winery in Lodi, September 29th, 5 to 8 o'clock. We're offering sponsorships. Dr. Chu is going to come in an hour before the event and speak specifically to our sponsors about what's coming down the pipe and what's new and what's working better than it used to work.
Awesome.
Our event starts at 5. We have Big Booty Bob and the Backside Kickers for music.
They're awesome.
They are awesome.
Big Booty Bob.
And we are having a cork pull. We're getting bottles of wine donated, and you'll pay $20, pick a cork, and whatever bottle coordinates with your cork, you win that bottle. We have an amazing pink wheelbarrow that was painted by Gary Keplin at American Auto Body. It's full of wine. That's our door prize. We have a quilt auction. We're girls, we quilt, so we have 8 quilts for auction. And we plan to have a very good time. We have a photo booth set up. We want to celebrate the women that are still here.
And we have, we're going to also celebrate the women who are still in the fight and encourage them along the way. And we have some amazing food, too.
We do. Papa Pablo's is doing our food.
All right. And they're phenomenal.
And I think he's gone a little above and beyond for us. Nothing of Bunt Cakes is doing our desserts.
Yay.
Everyone that we asked just stepped up. And like I said, we're still offering sponsorships. The tickets are $50 a person. We have a sponsorship for a memory. If you've lost someone to breast cancer and you would like to honor that person, that sponsorship starts at $100, and the rest of our sponsorships start at $300 and go up to $5,000. We just think we're going to have a very, very good time. It's a party to celebrate those who are with us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Pink
That's
boas.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yay.
pink feather boas, pink
Pictures will be
everything.
great.
Yeah.
Have a
Pink
wonderful time.
everything, yes.
Yeah.
So how does someone get tickets? Is there a website, Facebook page? Do they make a phone call?
There is a Facebook page, Corks for a Cure, Lodi. is the Facebook page, and you can get tickets there. It is linked to an Eventbrite page. It's also on the Eventbrite page for local Lodi.
Anyone who sponsors has tickets included in their sponsorship.
Yes.
And we just think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're reeling in all of our grown children to help run the event, and anyone we've asked has stepped up and said, no problem.
Awesome. And what else do you need for the event? I know you talked about sponsorship. What if someone has a raffle prize to donate, or they want to volunteer? How does that happen?
If they want to volunteer, that would be wonderful. We've limited ourselves to just the cork pull and the quilt auction this year to keep it simple. If anyone would like to donate wine, we would love to have wine donated, because our cork pull is based on donations, and our wheelbarrow full of wine is an amazing pink wheelbarrow for a door prize.
Filled with wine, too.
Filled with wine.
And I'm excited.
And you have to be present to win that.
Okay,
Yes,
good
you do.
point. I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the quilts. I didn't know we had quilters in our club.
Not me.
Who's
Well,
making new quilts?
Ellen Ashbaugh is a quilter in Lodi. I believe she's the president of the Lodi Rag Quilters, and she donated a quilt for us. We put out a call for quilts. Nancy Sherwood is a part of our team, and her husband is president of Lodi Rotary. She's a quilter. Leah Kanagawa is also part of our team, and her husband is in our Rotary Club. She's a quilter. I learned to quilt for this. I've sewn for a long time. I've wanted to quilt for 15 years, and I finally said, I'm going to do this. So I have prepared a couple of quilts as well. So we have 8 quilts
Awesome.
for the auction.
Magnificent. That's awesome. And to me, every year I see such potential for this to grow, and it's so exciting. And I'm sure for all of our listeners and viewers that they know someone, even if they haven't experienced this personally, they know someone who has.
And Julie, one of my best friends was just diagnosed with stage 4.
Wow.
Yeah, and she works here at UOP, and so this became even more real to me because of Lisa's diagnosis.
Wow. And for those of our listeners that don't know, this stage 4 means it's just much more aggressive.
I have 2 friends who were diagnosed with stage 3 or 4 12, 13 years ago, and they're both still here.
Yay, wonderful.
There is positive news.
That's awesome.
There is.
Yes.
And Deborah, going back to you, what kind of support network did you have when you were going through this, and how much of a difference do you think that made?
It makes a huge difference to have support, and my husband was over the top amazing. He was so awesome. He was there, and then when it was over, it's like, what? Can't you still help me?
I still
He really
I got
was.
used
He
to
was
it.
unbelievable. And church, family, friends, I got cards, and really, for me, I will say, I have a really strong faith. I have a strong faith in the Lord, and I don't know that I would have gotten through this whole walk if I didn't believe strongly that he was with me. I mean, absolutely. So that was big, and prayer was big. But my husband was always, he was there. I mean, I could be getting chemo and call him, and he'd leave the office.
Oh.
If he was with somebody, he was out of there. He'd be
That's
over
awesome.
there. So, it's
Do you want to mention him by name? We'll give him a shout out.
Phil Lenzer. And, as hard of a walk as it was to go through, I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't say
Wow.
I wish I didn't have it. I mean, I don't want it again. I do not want to go through it again. But I learned so much from having it. I learned more about my friends, even
Who your real friends are.
real friends. I learned the strength of my husband. I learned about the strength of myself. I was able to do things and go through things that I didn't even realize I had that strength for. When they told me, you're going to have surgery and you're going to have chemotherapy and you're going to have radiation, you're going to have it all, once they said you're going to have chemotherapy, I went deaf. I couldn't hear anything, so just having my husband there to tell me the rest of the story, what they were going to do. But you're scared. You don't know what to expect. But I will say I've learned so much more out of this. I wouldn't trade it. I really would not trade the experience.
And did you want to give a shout out to your doctor or anyone on your medical team or where you got care?
You know, I got care locally, and I know a lot of people go to Davis, and a lot of people will go to Stanford. I did not. My surgeon has passed away. Unfortunately, he got brain cancer, and he passed away. And my oncologist is Dr. Mehdi, and I think he did a great job. You know, he told the facts, he told me what it was, and this is what I would need to do, and I kept hoping for a sugar coating, like this isn't really what I need to do, right? But it was. And then Dr. McLaughlin was my radiologist, and I can't tell you what it really was a good experiences. The nurses were wonderful. They always made you feel loved. We're so glad you're here. You know, we have to take care of you, but we're going to take care of you really well. Don't worry about anything. In McLaughlin's office, I went through the radiation at Christmas time.
Wow.
And every day I was in there, 8:30 in the morning. And I walked in there, and the office was, music was playing, the carols were playing, it was warm, the staff was upbeat, and you know, there was always a Bible in his office laying out there. It was such a positive experience that I honestly told him, I'm going to miss you guys every morning because I don't have to come back, because they were good. It was a good.
Deb also, as part of her recovery, wrote a couple of books for her boys.
Yes,
Yes,
they've been
I
published.
did.
Oh, wow. What are they called?
Magnificent Matt, and the other one is Jeremy and Red Jeep.
They're children's books, but they're amazing.
They are. They're on Amazon. But I felt like I needed to let my sons know how much I enjoyed their childhood and the time I spent with them and raising them, and it really was, you know, one of the best parts of my life. I loved being a mom. And so I took an instant of Matt's life and put it into a book, and Jeremy used his imagination all the time as a child and put that into a book form, and I didn't tell anybody until they were finished. For over 2 years writing these books. Wow. And editing them to Illustrator and publishing them. I didn't really plan on getting them published, but they encouraged me, and I did.
Awesome.
The publisher did. And
They're
the
beautifully
editor.
illustrated,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's a very sweet story
Yeah.
in them.
Maybe we can have some at the event. So how old are your two children now?
Well, they're 41 and 38. You know, they're all growing up, but I still I thought someday I'm not going to be here. I mean, I'm here now, not because of cancer that I'm not going to be here necessarily, but we all have an end in our life, and I thought I want them to always know how much I appreciate them.
And what was their response to the books?
Oh my gosh, you know, I got them together, come over to dinner, their wives were there, and I sat them on the couch, and I each gave them their book wrapped up. They opened it, and it was just silent. Nobody said anything, and they just opened their books, and they started reading, and then there was hugs, and oh my gosh, Mom, I can't believe you did this, and when did you do this? And Phil my husband didn't even know that I did it until like 3 days before. So
wow.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Awesome.
And I think that was a positive thing that came out of the breast cancer. Was I've always wanted to write a book, and then it was like, I've got to let my kids know that they were really important part of my life.
And these are available on Amazon, and what are the titles again?
Magnificent Matt and Jeremy and Red Jeep.
Awesome.
And I just finished a third one that is at the Illustrator.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
And the response have been positive on Amazon?
Yes. I wish people would go back more and say if they liked something or not. They can order books through me too.
Website?
Well, it's not really a website, but I have an email. It's debralenzerbooks@gmail.com. They can do that. So it's just, I wasn't in it to sell the books. I was in it just because it was fun and I wanted my kids to know I cared.
And now there's a third one coming. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is it about me? Okay.
I can put you in my fourth book.
We could have a Rotary book.
Yeah,
Or a book about corks for the cure.
women with capes, you know,
Women
we're
with
here
capes
to
sounds
change.
awesome. Yes.
Yeah,
See?
for
That could
sure.
happen. That could
Because we're
happen.
all leaders, and actually that ties in really well, because I was going to come back to Cathi and talk about women in leadership.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that's my passion. Not just, Quirks for a Cure, but even Rotary is all about leadership. It's all about the impact you make in the community. And so for me, I love that I'm part of a group that strongly supports leadership and women in leadership. We just need more women to join us. But there's, I have an organization, it's a nonprofit, it's called LeadHership. And it's every breath that I take is just like my passion of seeing women embrace who they are and embracing that they're powerful, that they're purposed, and they're priceless. And
Oh, that's beautiful.
I really feel like as women, if we could embrace that, we could change the world. Because leadership doesn't mean you have to have a title. Leadership means that you have influence. As a mother, you have influence. As a business person, you have influence. As someone in the community, you have influence. So every person is a leader. It's just on how you embrace that and how you grow in that leadership.
And repeat the 3 Ps again.
It's powerful, purposed, and priceless.
That's so awesome. I love that. I'm going to use that.
The 3 Ps.
And then Sherry, let's come back to you, because we've kind of glossed over Rotary. Let's talk about when our club meets and where, and how people can participate if they'd like to.
We meet at Hutchins Street Square in Lodi on Thursdays at noon. Anyone would like to pop in, we'd love to have you. Our Rotary Club is coming up on our 100th anniversary. Rotary was started in Chicago well over 100 years ago by some businessmen who wanted to network. And through the evolution of Rotary, we've gone in the opposite direction and come full circle back to networking. And so
also including women, because initially
women were
not.
not. We were allowed to be what they called Rotary Anns, and pretty much the wives did the decorations and the events. That we weren't actually allowed to take charge. Now they're a little nervous because
And they should be.
you know what happens.
And what is your role in Rotary? What's your leadership position?
I've been in Rotary for 6 years. My husband has been in Rotary for over 25. I have been president of our club, and I will be the district governor in our district in a couple of years.
Woohoo!
Yes.
We have many women district governors in our district, and
Judy Lovett, my friend, is
yes,
our current
Judy
district
Lovett is
governor.
our current district governor. And so I just found that this was an easy process. Rotary was an easy thing for me to embrace because Rotary takes care of those who have less. Not those who want more, but those who need more.
Yeah.
And we do it worldwide. We do it in our communities. And many people don't know, most people don't know, that Rotary took on the scourge of polio about 30 years ago. And when Rotary said we're going to eliminate polio, and polio is a live virus, so when no one has it, it's gone, like smallpox. And they were discouraged and told they had to do it in different ways. And they said, no, we're going to go door to door in the most rural and the most needy parts of the world and vaccinate children. And Rotary has taken polio from 350,000 cases of paralysis a year to about 16 or 17 last year. And
Eradicated it.
yes, it's all, we're so close. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gives us a lot of money. And Rotarians have paid billions. Rotarians pay, if you want to go vaccinate children, you buy your own ticket. You donate money to Polio Plus to buy vaccines. We didn't get India polio free because we revamped their water systems or their sanitation systems or changed their way of hygiene. We got India polio free because we vaccinated every child. And India continues to vaccinate every child. So it's a process that the World Health Organization said we had to have sterile clinics and people had to bring their children in to be vaccinated. You can imagine the parts of the world where that's just not possible.
It's not gonna work.
It's not that it's an inconvenience, it's
Yeah, it's
just
not
not
gonna work.
possible.
Yeah, it's
And
not
so
reality.
Rotary
Yeah.
we developed these insulated bags that have a little button on them. The vaccine has to be cold, the temperature maintained, and when if anything happens and that bag gets too warm, the little button pops out, and then those vaccines are disposed of. So we travel through the whole world with these bags over our shoulders, vaccinating children, and it goes on to this day. We're very, very close.
And they get, is it a purple dot?
They paint their pinky purple. When they go into a village or a town, the children's pinky is painted purple. So that they know for sure that that child has been vaccinated, and it lasts quite a while.
It's fun. They like
Many
it.
of the high schools
Yeah.
interact clubs are high school Rotary clubs, and many of them do the Purple Pinky program where they ask for donations, and any kid in the school who donates a quarter or $1, whatever, gets a Purple Pinky, and so everyone knows who participates. And so polio Rotary has gone down into the junior high level now. And so teaching our kids to give and be compassionate, the earlier the better.
That's huge. That's huge because those are our future leaders.
Yes, they are.
Going back to where polio still exists, it's just in 3 or 4 countries, and those are the areas that are hardest. They're not as cooperative about vaccines.
They're not as cooperative about vaccines, and it's, we come up against different beliefs and different superstitions, and they still go door to door. I met a man from Canada who had polio as a child and was adopted from India to Canada, and he, because of the care he got as a child once he was adopted, he walks with a brace, he's active. He goes to towns for Rotary. Sometimes he has to change planes 10 times, to get there. But he is able to show the mothers his legs and show them what will happen if their children aren't vaccinated, and he's very influential.
And for people that aren't aware, I know we've touched on what Rotary is. It's basically an organization of business people that work together to make a difference, both locally and internationally. In addition to the polio, there's been water projects,
Right.
Bringing medical, optical, all kinds of things, cleft palate, you name it, Rotary has gone and done it.
Absolutely.
And I'm just so thrilled, and I'm actually in the process of transitioning from Rotary Club of Stockton to the Lodi Rotary Club, and I'm excited. It's amazing to me to come into a group of people that are very diverse and see how close you are, and it's like a family.
Yeah.
And how much you work together, and I'm really excited about it.
It's like a family.
It is a family. Rotary's a family.
It is.
One of the best things I find about Rotary is being able to pick up the phone or send an email anywhere around the world, and whoever picks it up on the other end, if they can't help you, they'll find you find someone to help you. And that is what makes Rotary a family worldwide.
Yeah.
Definitely. Debra, is there anything else that you'd like to add about your own personal experience or about Rotary? I know you're not a direct member, but you're a member. You're a part of our Rotary community.
Well, I will say I was really touched when I found out that the women of Rotary were going to have this fundraiser. I really felt loved. I thought, oh my gosh, they picked breast cancer to have a fundraiser for. There's a lot of things out there, and there's all kinds of cancers out there. And Sherry is a take charge, generous, giving.
She is.
There's just not enough words to say about Sherry. And how could you say no? I won't help. I'm like, fundraiser, oh no. And then it's like, oh my gosh, they're doing this. You know, you got to jump in there, Deb. And it's been a lot of fun. Made new friends again, and the thing that I'm so thrilled with about this fundraiser, this excites me, is that people can do a sponsorship and actually have an opportunity to talk to Dr. Chu.
Yeah.
And they can ask her about the research. You know, that's something that's always I've wondered about, is sitting in a chair and getting chemotherapy. Are they really doing research? Are they making any headway? What do they really want to find a cure? Or you know, or do all these companies that are selling chemotherapy and drugs, you know, maybe they're not trying to find a cure as much as they should. So getting to talk to her, I think that's positive. That's a great thing.
Huge.
Well, she also received an honor for Find a Cure Award from the South, is that
Placer.
Okay, Placer. I'm not from California. Sorry. Breast Cancer Endowment in 2007, and she's been awarded several things on her research for breast cancer. So this is really huge that she's coming, and that's for our VIPs, for those who sponsor. And so if you want to reach out and sponsor in some way, you can contact Sherry or myself. I'll be glad to give my number, and they can call me. I don't know how your number as well. So we can do that. My number is 209-452-6526. And Sherry?
Mine's 209-649-6912.
And that's to be able to do a sponsorship that also gets you into the VIP pre-event to hear Dr. Chu and speak with Dr. Chu.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's the most positive thing that's happened here is this isn't just women in Rotary. This is wives of Rotarians. This is friends of Rotarians.
Yeah.
This is friends of wives of Rotarians. So we put together 13 women, and we've never worked together before, and it's been the most positive experience. This is not the fundraiser that I'm going to want to drop kick the binder right after the fundraiser. This is a fundraiser that we are having a very good time, and we will not be able to wait to start the next one.
This is a legacy that you've created, that not only you but everyone that's working on it, and it's awesome that you brought it, that you saw another club doing it, and now this is something that will be a legacy for our club, and it's going to help so many people in the community. And I love that it goes beyond the borders of Rotary.
Yeah. It's really cool when we all band together and help each other.
It's amazing.
Girls taking care of our girls.
It's amazing. No, I'm so thrilled, and so much respect for you for starting this and bringing it to our community. And it's so important, as we said, even if you haven't personally experienced this, you know someone that has, and it makes it real. And I believe you said 1 out of 8?
1 out of 8.
Which is huge.
And the quilts we're auctioning are particularly aimed at breast cancer patients and survivors. And I know that Nancy created a quilt that has space on it to write good wishes for the person who's being treated. So it's an inspirational thing. I have friends who've come home from chemo and wrapped up in the same quilt every week. And so we are looking to comfort those that are in the fight, and we also want to celebrate those who have made it through.
Definitely. That's awesome. And once again, let's give the details on how you can get tickets.
You can go to Facebook page. It is Corks for a Cure Lodi on Facebook, and also through Eventbrite. You can look up Corks for a Cure in Lodi.
Awesome. And tickets are $50.
Right?
And the event is when and where?
September 29th at Clinker Brick Winery on Alpine Road in Lodi. Lori and Steve have been very supportive of us. They own Clinker Brick with their daughter, and when I asked, there was no hesitation. Definitely have it here. We'll be drinking Clinker Brick wines that night, and it's 5 to 8 o'clock on September 29th.
And I like the connection with the wine as well, because wine has been found to be healthy for your heart, healthy in terms of cancer and other things. And that's so awesome that Clinker Brick has stepped up. Do we want to give a shout out to any other sponsors or organizations? You know, you mentioned Nothing But Cakes, and you mentioned Papa Pablo's.
Well, Tony Segali is hopefully painting our logo on our wheelbarrow. It's Segali Signs. And of course, Gary Keplin, American Auto Body, painted the wheelbarrow for us. All we had to do was ask.
And Pixel Bliss designed our logo for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. And let's go around. Anything else that any of you would like to add, either about the event or leadership or Rotary?
I don't really have a whole lot more to say, except I'm just so proud to be in this group. And thank you, Julie. We're glad that you're going to be a part of us too, because I love strong women. I really do think we can rule the world in a good way.
Positive change.
Yeah, and so because we've had fun with this, and we've had, I don't think it's been tense to me at all.
It hasn't. This is a very group of women, group of women who are very professional, and everyone took whatever was their strength and said, "I'll take that. I'll handle that. I'll develop that," and it's just been amazing. I've been part of many fundraisers over the years, and this is not something that any one or two people could do. Mm-hmm. And it's taken everyone, and all 13 of us are contributing what we can when we can, and no one's dropped the ball. And it's just been phenomenal. So we hope people will come out and join us on September 29th at Clinker Brick, and join us for the party, the celebration.
Name the 13 women.
Cathi has the list. Well, of course, you, Julie, Julie Damron-Brown, Amy Harrell, Leah Kanagawa, Deb Lenzer, Susan Patrick, Nancy Sherwood, Marianne Sullivan, Melanie Totai, Jamie Valinskis, Susan Wong, and Cathi Woods-Bacher, as well as Christine Robertson of Pixie Bliss Designs.
Awesome. Excellent. And any last comments from you?
I'm having a great time. I feel really fortunate to be in with all these women. I do, because I'm not really in the Rotary group, so to speak, but I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
And I've made a whole bunch of new friends, so.
Well, and maybe that'll change. Maybe you'll decide to come to Rotary.
You know what? They'll allow me to do as much as I want to do, I'm sure. So. Yeah, my husband's a great supporter of it, and I can't think of an organization that you could be more proud to be part of.
I would second that emphatically. Yeah.
And it's awesome, and it sounds like there's so much enthusiasm about this event that even though it's been a lot of hard work, it's been enjoyable and pleasurable. It's been a labor of love, and again, it's going to leave such a tremendous legacy. And I'm so proud of all of you for being a part of this, and it's just wonderful, and it's such a strong sense of community spirit. And I'm sure that not only is it going to be very successful, but that each year it's going to grow.
Well, we hope everyone will wear pink. When you come out on September 29th, wear pink. Everything in the room is going to be pink.
All right, awesome.
Please support us. Please come out. Enjoy the evening. It will be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun event.
Great. And anything we want to add?
I think we got it covered, girls.
I think we do.
All right. And with that, then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I am the voice of Stockton. You are the voice of Stockton. We are the voice of Stockton. Let's make it a great day.